What's going on, everybody? All right, so today we have to talk about this finally Batman that's appearing in James Gunn's DCU, and we are going to talk about this, with some thoughts and all that stuff when it comes down to this. As always, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free content, and if you can go ahead and support the channel, go for it. I appreciate everybody that's watching and all that good stuff. So we'll get into it and as these notifications go out and all this good stuff. So hopefully everybody's having a good day. And let's kick this off because more updates are coming up. And like I said, if you're not subscribed, make sure to hit that subscription so you can keep up and turn that notification on so we can keep on having all these updates going. All right. What's going on, Dominique? I appreciate you watching. Yes, bring back Ben Affleck to play Batman. Yes, yes, we all want that. We'll get it in due time. So right now, let's just focus real quick on this whole reveal that we're finally seeing Batman in James Gunn's timeline, and some things that are pretty interesting at the same time because we will see why. All right, so let's get into this real quick. All right, so check this out before we kick off everything today, January 2nd. And this is minutes from now. Currently, it's 12:17 p.m. Eastern time, and this right here is what we're opening to Wall Street with WB. You see? Oh, it went up 0.30. Oh, wow. Big deal, right? Still down in the low. That's what I'm telling you. These numbers are not going up, and it's still at 1060. Sad. It was just at 1058, 1057, like within the past 3 days. And here we are again, completely sad. But all right, let's move on and let's see the next thing. All right. So if you've seen Creature Commandos, I haven't been following it after probably like the third episode. I don't care about it anymore. Um, this is an episode, I guess, from one of the new ones. I guess the one coming out. I don't care honestly. But you have these clowns literally dancing in this room and stuff like that, and it just this clip is already out there if you want to see it. It's just online. Just search it up. But once these clowns are dancing and doing their thing in this ballroom or whatever, the lights go out. And once the lights go out, I guess this dude, what's his name? Phosphorus, Dr. Phosphorus. I don't know what his name is. This green guy in the middle, everything turns off and he's just lit up because, of course, he has that green color that lights up and stuff. All of a sudden, the lights go out. Once it turned off, they come back on. This is what we get. So this is the big reveal right here of James Gunn's Batman. You can see that it's pretty much inspired by Batman the Animated Show. This right here gives those vibes and stuff like that. But at the same time, honestly, look, I'm just not excited. I'm just not feeling this. But something I do want to point out, with this Batman, if we look at it, look at that. This is trying to zoom it in so we can see it more close and things like that. Um, it kind of looks a little bit, I want to say, a little bit, not a lot, like the Dark Knight Returns. You can see that thick belt that he has, and you can see a little bit, kind of like the little short ears. You see, and this is a thick Batman. Like he's got some muscle. He's pretty buff. So I want to see what the full review is going to be once we fully get it. But this is the big but. While we're on this topic, with James Gunn and his DCU and everything that has to do with this Batman, we finally get the big surprise, the big reveal. It kind of screams desperation because, like I was talking about this yesterday. Remember, James Gunn's contract is gonna go and run out in 2026, and he's desperate in the sense that he's gonna try to rush and greenlight all these projects while he's still there and just try to like completely shove everything and put it out there. And it's clearly, proof that James Gunn is just rushing everything. He said that there's no script for the Batman 2, yet he's introducing his version of Batman in Creature Commandos, which is part of the DCU. But at the same time, it's like, okay, a few days ago, we just heard that Andy Muschietti's Batman Brave and the Bold got delayed. But then James Gunn comes back out and he says, no, that it's not delayed. All right, so you're going to delay Matt Reeves' Batman and you're not going to delay your Batman. You see what I'm saying? James Gunn is onto his role as what he wanted to do, and he's doing it. He's fulfilling his role. His role at DC is just to leave his quote unquote legacy before his contract is due in 2026. Um, at the rate that we're going, James Gunn is just going to go ahead and greenlight everything that he can and he wants under his belt. And this is going to be the next thing right here, his Batman. Are we going to make it that far? I highly doubt it. I really doubt it. Just because of, his trajectory and the way that James Gunn has been putting out these movies and stuff like that. So let's see. I don't see it going that far. Yeah, I get it. They haven't announced a set date to release yet, but him introducing already Batman in his Creature Commandos, it just clearly shows you that he's just like, you know what, screw it, just do it now while I still can. Because that's what he's trying to probably do. And at the same time, with this Batman, with James Gunn, he's already showing you the future. How? Here's proof. There it is. This is what we've already seen, or probably coming up in an episode. I don't remember now. Like I said, I'm not keeping up with the show, but this just shows you what James Gunn thinks about and feels about Batman. You can see a close up more. Like you can just see it a little bit more in detail. And of course, this is not the Affleck Batman because this one has longer ears. And from the neck, look at it. You can see what he's wearing. He kind of looks like what Robert Pattinson wears in that collar with his suit. That kind of looks like it. You imagine this is Robert Pattinson's Batman in the DCU. Well, if it does happen, we can see what awaits him. Like it's just completely nonsense. Like completely, this is what James Gunn thinks about these characters. He doesn't care about superheroes. He's even admitted it. James Gunn just doesn't care about Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. He only cares about these odd characters and all of these strange characters that are like this right here. This is what James Gunn likes. Like this right here screams James Gunn. So you DC fans and James Gunn fans that wanted this, you got it. You want your whole MCU formula DCU version, right? And you're getting it. You're getting it. It's flopping, it's tanking, it's not making numbers because again, if it were making numbers, even with these announcements, today's stocks wouldn't be where they're at right now from a few days ago. Because a few days ago you were at 1070, 10 what 80, 85. And look, you're at 1060. I'm telling you, nobody's excited for this. And the few that are, it's not enough. It's not saving them. And again, that's why I say, the hypocrisy of the studio, because here they are introducing Batman, but at the same time, before he got introduced, James Gunn's already giving you a preview of future events, if you want to say. And look at where Batman is, literally along with the other ones in this timeline. So for this to be happening, I mean, this is it's pretty wild. And at least we can say that this is not Ben Affleck's Batman because it just doesn't it doesn't have anything of what Ben's Batman would be. Because again, look at the collar right here with the cape. Look at the cowl with the ears. These are pointy. Ben Affleck's ears, Batman, are shorter. They're the small ones. So this right here is pretty much like a different version of Batman. So seeing how everything is going on right now with what James Gunn is doing, he's just pretty much building his own little playground, and what he's doing is pretty much like taking out these heroes in his universe because apparently he just doesn't care about these heroes and he just wants to stick to oddball characters and you know that's what James Gunn is about. I as a fan, I'm actually happy that this is not you know the Snyderverse Batman because this is a different take on whoever this is going to be, whichever Batman from James Gunn this is going to be. But it's just showing you that he just doesn't care about these characters. He's going to move forward with the weird ones, and this is what they're doing with them. And it's just a lot of people have lost trust and in WB and DC, especially with James Gunn, and seeing some fans and supporters of James Gunn also criticizing and saying, "Hey, I don't even believe in him, and I was supporting him." That tells you, and it says a lot. It speaks in high volume, and people are they're just done with this. Honestly, this is why this company is where it's at right now. But like I've been talking about it and saying it, like things are going to shift, things are changing. James Gunn is just trying to cram and rush everything within his universe, and this is why they're going on a cheaper route. You wanted a cheaper route, here's your cheaper route. You're going with animation, it doesn't get any more cheaper than that. And like here you have it. This is the big reveal of James Gunn's DCU Batman. Of course, we just get the silhouette and stuff like that, typical Batman stuff that we see. um I mean, again, we don't know who and what this Batman is going to be. Once we get the full costume and the whole reveal and stuff, we'll see what it's going to be. But at the same time, it is what it is, I guess. And I'm just not excited for this. Honestly, I want to be, but I just can't. How am I supposed to be excited for this when I see this picture of Batman, but then James Gunn gives us this picture of the future of what's going to happen to him in his universe? It's like, come on, man. You're already, like you're not Zack Snyder. This is your nightmare timeline. Like this is a full nightmare. Like completely. Zack didn't do this to these characters. It's like what's going on. It's like the main character. Batman, and what James Gunn's doing. Again, he just doesn't bring that excitement. A lot of people are just not happy with that and stuff like that. And it is pretty wild. It's pretty wild. But at the same time, there's no surprise. It's there's no surprise there. A lot of people are giving up. They're just moving on, and some have moved on. And like I said, this year, wallets closed. And then that's where I stand as a fan, because here you have this Batman, and it's like then you set him up for the future where he's going to be taken out. It's like, all right, that's pretty bad. It's not a good way to start your reboot, if you want to say, because honestly, I mean, some things just shouldn't be done. And at the way that this is, and things that James Gunn is just doing, uh, I'm just not excited. I am not excited. All right, so drop your comments. I'm reading through them as we can see. All right, so yes, I know. I'm aware of that. Yeah, that whole thing with that vision from the future and stuff like that. But it's just telling you, it's just prepping you for what's to come. It's that's pretty much what it is. So you're gonna tell me that what Zack Snyder was doing and what he did, with Darkseid and Aquaman, that was just for a scene? No, it's just preparing us and letting us know what happens in that timeline. Same thing with James Gunn, what he's doing with these characters. It's just you're foreseeing the future through the eyes of that character, and that's what he's giving us. Because he even puts up his own Superman in there. So it's like, honestly, like it's just completely, it's just, I don't know, I don't even have words to say anymore. you know that's right, going with the cheaper over what fans want makes sense, with Zaslav acting like Steve Ross from the 80s. Yeah. um and I get it, these companies want to save money, they want to try to save cost, but sometimes taking a shortcut doesn't really work. And in this case, it's not working, because if you're going to have these characters and you're going to be doing what you're doing, the best you can do is just give them completely, the respect and acknowledgement that they deserve. And the way that James Gunn has been treating these characters, honestly, is just it's just not cutting it, and it's just completely insane, you know. Um, I mean, only the future knows what's going to come, and the way that things are going, you know, with this whole studio. Um, it's just nuts. It's just nuts, honestly. All right, would you be happy with the Snyderverse continuation in a novel or animation? No, I've said it plenty of times, and majority of us Snyder fans have said it plenty of times. Even Zack Snyder said it when he did that interview. If you've been following me, you would know where we stand at. No, No compromise. That's it. We are not going to settle for less, and we're not going to move forward because some, not a lot, because some of you James Gunn fans, and you anti Zack Snyder fans want us to stop. You want us to quote unquote move on. So you want us to accept and, settle for less, which is animation or a novel. No, that's disrespectful. Why even ask that, honestly? Let's be real. Would you want your whole James Gunn universe or Matt Reeves universe to stop where they're at right now, cinematically wise, and move forward with a comic book, with a book, a novel, or animation? No. Let's be real. You're not going to say yes. You're going to say no. So, the same way it applies to us. No, we're not going to settle for less, and we are not going to compromise for an animation or a novel to, if you want to say, conclude Zack Snyder's arc. No, man, it's not like that. It doesn't work like that. This is why we continue to fight. This is why I'm here every day or every other day talking about this, because this year for James Gunn, our theme is wallets closed. That's it. No Snyderverse, no money. Period. And at the rate that they're going, this is exactly what it is. They're where they're at because they wanted that, and they brought it upon themselves. So no, we will not compromise, and we will not accept an animation or a novel just because some, which are the minority of fans, we will not move on. That's it. Give us what we want. Live action. You started live action, end it live action. We're not like James Gunn. Start off a new reboot with an animation. That's pretty cheap. All right, so cheaper doesn't always work, especially when it comes to copying out, uh, of giving us villains that we want to see. Superman fight live action movies like Brainiac. Yeah, exactly. We want to see that. We don't want to see that animated. I don't want to see that in an animation. Hell, not even do I want to see it in AI. No. I get it. Technology is awesome right now. This whole AI is doing amazing stuff. But no, we're not. We're not moving on. We're not going to settle for less. And most of all, we're not gonna compromise. It's like either you give us what we want, or we just don't give you any more money. Mad Max, what up? Yeah, that's the new Batman for James Gunn's DCU. He finally appeared in the show. I guess it's the new episode that's coming up. So this is what's coming out right now. But like I've been talking about it, if you just tuned in right now, at the same time, this is what James Gunn's giving us, right? But at the same time, this right here is what also James Gunn is giving us. He like brings them in, but at the same time takes them out. So which this was pretty much introduced first. He took him out first before actually setting him up and bringing him in, right? Completely ridiculous. It just shows you that, like James Gunn has no idea. He has no sense what direction he's going. He moves forward, then he moves backward. While he's moving backward, he wants to do a U-turn, make a left turn, make a right turn while doing a U-turn. It just doesn't make sense, honestly. All right. Yeah, exactly. Why is he doing nightmare visions? Exactly. That's what I just spoke about like a few minutes ago. It makes no sense. Why do, like all these nightmares? He's not Zack Snyder. Again, he's trying to be like Zack Snyder, trying to start off his reboot and showing you with a nightmare, sequence where this is what's going to happen in the future. We already know, James Gunn. We know you don't like these characters. We know you don't care about these characters. We understand that, but you're not Zack Snyder. Stop trying to be like him. Be your own, and just put your own stuff. Again, trying to be like what Zack has done, with the Nightmare timeline, where everything ended, in Zack Snyder's Justice League with the epilogue scene. Shane, what up? What up? I appreciate you and everybody for watching, for tuning in. This is something that just came out. So if you're just tuning in, or by the time you're seeing this, probably the stream ended already. This is pretty wild. It really is. Yeah, I agree with you, Shane. James Gunn just poorly rips off Zack Snyder. That's it. He just completely does that. It's wild to see how everybody's just completely like seeing and finally waking up to the truth. Kind of confusing. Exactly. This picture alone is confusing on every angle because, again, like I said, how do you introduce Batman, in the opening of Creature Commandos, that Batman's wiped out? But then now, again, in Creature Commandos, you show him that he's finally making his debut. completely confusing. It's like you want them, but then you don't want them. Which of the two is it? But this is where we're at. you know this is where we are right now. I agree with you, Mad Max. Zaslav has stolen DC. He is gatekeeping the DCU on Max. This is disgusting. Zaslav is not to be trusted. Yeah, you know what? Look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. In the beginning, when I heard that David Zaslav was gonna come in, of course, from Discovery and stuff like that, I thought I was one of probably the many that were like, all right, cool. He's probably gonna do some change and he's gonna fix DC, and the company and stuff will be in better position. I have to admit that I was wrong. I was wrong, and I say it and I admit it. So for all you toxic James Gunn fans and you anti Zack Snyder fans, yeah, I was wrong because I thought David Zaslav was going to make some change for all of us for the good. On the contrary, all he's doing is taking the cheaper route, trying to go the cheaper, and like less cost effective in the sense where he doesn't want to spend much money. And look at where they're at right now. Flop after flop after flop. And with all these flops back to back, that's not saving them. I mean, what else can you expect from a studio that's trying to reduce and cut costs and cut corners and stuff? It all catches up. There's so much that you can take as a company with flops, and once it catches up to you, you're pretty much going to run out of money. And this is where WB is at. This is why, like I said, and I spoke about it yesterday, WB and the executives in the studio before James Gunn came on board wanted to reintroduce the Snyderverse. This is why they had brought Henry Cavill at Black Adam, because they were trying to set that up. And if you look at it, the first Shazam kind of acknowledges, Ben Affleck's Batman and Superman, because of course you get those Easter eggs. Look, I'm a fan of Easter eggs, but not in everything it works, honestly. And especially when you have a universe that and you need these core characters: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Black Adam, Shazam. Because of course Shazam in the comics goes up against Superman and Black Adam. So you have three core characters you've already introduced in the movie. Why couldn't you just continue and have them face off like they are in the comics? What's so hard about that? It's like you already have them, you already introduced them, you set them up. I mean, what, like completely was really going on, you know? And yeah, for sure, Shane, I completely agree with that. Pam and Mike need to be CEOs. They were going to be. Remember, that's another thing too. I don't know if some of you remember that before James Gunn came on board, there was talks of Mike DeLuca going to take over after Walter Hamada. But then, of course, James Gunn came on board and David Zaslav picking and choosing. And like I've been thinking, this is me just speculating and thinking. I'm not saying this for sure, but this is just me speculating. David Zaslav has to be on Disney's payroll. He has to. He has to be on the Mouse's payroll in order for everything to be prevented from happening with Zack Snyder. Because with Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse, if WB would have allowed him, they would have been on top of the game right now. We probably would have been either entering or coming out of Zack Snyder's Justice League 3 at this time, honestly, because it would have already been done. It's already, what, over 10 years, 11 years. So we would have been done with that, moving into whatever they wanted to do and stuff like that. So, the way that WB has, handled their own characters, their own IP, it's pretty sad. Like they don't deserve to own these IPs, honestly. They don't know what to do with them. Like all these years, from the Batman to now, why is there no script done? There's no script for that, right? But then James Gunn has already, his Batman for Brave and the Bold, right? Which is right here being introduced. This he has ready, right? This he has ready. He's ready to he was ready to announce this and show this off in his show, right? But there's nothing with Robert Pattinson for the Batman 2. So I get some of you Matt Reeves fans how you might be feeling right now. Join our fight. Join and know what it's like to get screwed over by the studio, to get screwed over by executives, because us Snyder fans have been getting screwed since 2013, since the beginning with Man of Steel. And look at where we're at right now, 11 years in to this whole, fight with the Snyderverse and everything. What hasn't gone through? We got two versions of Suicide Squad that are still not even the final one that we wanted because we still haven't gotten the air cut. We went through two versions of Justice League. We got the MCU style, which is Justice League with Joss Whedon, and then we got the real cut, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League. We fought for that 5 years and we got it. We never got a Ben Affleck standalone film, which is pretty sad. In history, when you look at the time gap, let's say right now, 50 years from now, you look back and be like, if we haven't gotten a Ben Affleck movie, it's gonna be like, wow, the only one badass actor, to play Batman, never got his own standalone film, right? We got Christian Bale with the duck lips and the raspy voice. Where is she? Remember that? Oh, that's okay, right? That's fine. And then we got an emo Batman, Robert Pattinson, that he's knocking on, villains' doors to be like, hey, let's talk it out. Like we should stop this, this whole thing that's going in Gotham, right? But we can't get quality, right? Like Zack Snyder's Batman, right? That was a no-no, right? Because there were so many sensitive fans that couldn't stand to see what Batman did with his Batmobile in Batman versus Superman, and what he did with his what is it, the bat plane, bat whatever, the Batwing night. I mean the Batwing, yeah. When he was flying and taking out those goons, right? That was too strong for some fans, right? But it's okay for Michael Keaton to, turn, what is it, the flamethrower, and completely light up that goon in Batman Returns, right? And then do the same thing what he was doing with the big strong guy, when he had the things on his waist, and he throws them into the sewer and just boom, it goes off, right? That's okay. See what I'm saying? The hypocrisy sometimes of these fans and the studio allowing what's yes, to all this, especially to this right here with James Gunn, right? This is yes, go ahead, do it. That as a Batman fan and as a DC fan, this is insulting to me, honestly. Some of you might be like, "Oh, you're such a nerd. It's only a cartoon. It's not nothing serious like that." Yeah, I get it. I get it. Imagine you liking whatever it is that you like, and they do the opposite to it, right? Maybe you're into shoe collecting. Maybe you're into collecting figures. Maybe you're into this whole James Gunn, right? And then that starts getting completely, like screwed over. How are you gonna feel? You're gonna be like, damn, that's disrespectful. Oh, blah 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 blah, right? It's the same thing. It applies to you the same way that it applies to us. We're fans. That's why we're called fans, short for fanatics. Because I am a fanatic to Batman. Not every Batman, but to what I like. But seeing this, it just shows you James Gunn doesn't care about these characters. He really doesn't. So for this to be allowed by the studio, this is okay. This is a big, you know, like yes, we can do that. But then when you have Zack Snyder doing what he was doing with the Snyderverse, and David Ayer doing what he was doing with Suicide Squad, oh, that's a no-no, right? Oh no, that's too dark. We can't do that. We cannot have Dark Side because Dark Side, even his name says it, Dark Side, is too dark. It's just too strong, right? We can't have an alpha type of Superman or Batman, or we can't have a strong female character like we had with Wonder Woman because that's a no-no, right? But this right here is okay. This right here with James Gunn, yeah, do as you please. You want to disrespect the characters? Go for it. That's fine. We're not gonna have a problem with that. See what I'm saying? That's the part where, as a fan, is just like, why are you allowing that? You know? And then they wonder why things are the way that they are with this company. You know? Exactly, that's true. We are the majority. Don't forget that. Don't let them trick you. They're not tricking me. And they're not tricking a lot of us. This is why we have our wallets closed. And again, this is the reason why we are where we're at right now. We're sending the message to the studio, to the investors, to the shareholders, everybody that we don't see besides James Gunn, Peter Safran, and David Zaslav. We're sending them a financial message saying, hey, you guys want to make that money, right? You've been wanting to make that Marvel money. How do you do it? Plain and simple. Just give the fans what they want. That's it. There's nothing hard to that. How come Paramount is making money with Sonic? Because they're actually giving the fans service. They're giving to the fans what they want. You know, we're the consumers. Exactly, Shane. There you go. We are the consumers. We are the consumers. We're the loyal fans, loyal customers, whatever you want to call it. So we have the power to open or keep our wallets closed. That's it. If you don't give us what we want, then obviously you're not going to support it and you're not going to buy it. And that's what's happening with the studio. You know, I would love to keep on supporting them. I would love to keep on showing them, the support that I have for years. But why should I? What they're not giving me, you know? For a while, I've been saying the same. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way too. It's like, why are you trying to force us to accept something or change? A lot of us could relate. Like when it's forced, anything, the chances of people actually supporting them are pretty much 1 to 0. Like they're really not going to, because you're forcing them to accept change. You know, we as individuals, we don't really like change to happen all of a sudden. Give us a notice, give us a heads up, hey, because that's how everybody feels. Nobody just like random changes all of a sudden. Oh, by the way, here's the change. No, what? Like prepare us for it and stuff like that. You know, but when it comes down to this is where we are right now with this whole reboot with James Gunn. This is acceptable. This is acceptable. But with Zack Snyder, it was not acceptable. Ridiculous, right? The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. You know? And I want to see. I want to see what this is going to be and who is going to be this Batman within this universe. This is just me speculating, but you imagine that this is Robert Pattinson's Batman, without Matt Reeves, and they end up bringing Robert Pattinson and putting him into this universe. Because, like I just said a few minutes ago, check this out. Look at look at this right here. Just let me zoom it in so you can see. Look at that cowl. It would fit Robert Pattinson's style. And this neck piece, this literally looks like Robert Pattinson's piece that he wears on his costume, on part of his armor, I guess, so it could protect his neck and stuff like that. I mean that would be honestly like interesting, but at the same time, it'll leave me in like scratching my head, like, whoa, so he actually did get him. That's just me speculating. I'm not saying that that really is him, but you imagine that that is. I mean, huge plot twist, right? That would completely that would be interesting to see. Just that anything is possible. At this rate, anything is possible. Because of course we have James Gunn doing what James Gunn does. And this is what this is what happens. This is exactly what happens. Yeah, exactly. Uh, yeah, we're gonna get the Snyderverse in due time for sure. Where is it? Okay, all right, there you go. Gunn begins his DCU disrespecting the Trinity. Yep, that's pretty much what he did once he introduced them. How he did it with that whole nightmare timeline or whatever he wants to call it and stuff like that. You know, I mean, this is interesting to see that we're finally seeing what James Gunn's Batman's going to look like. At least this is within the comics. Will he have the underwear? I have a feeling he might, and he might as well just put it because it would fit more into tone and in the style of one James Gunn, two with his Superman. So if you're going to do that with Superman, you might as well just do it with Batman. Honestly, let's be real. Like why would you have one wearing it and the other one not? If you want to stay faithful and stay true to the source, like what the James Gunn fans want, you know, I expect to see this Batman wearing the trunks also. Would he do the blue and what is it, blue and gray with the yellow belt like the classic Batman, or is he going to do the dark one with the black and gray? I mean, whichever one, it's just I want to see. I want to see that. But for sure, this Batman needs to have the trunks 100%. Even I'm saying that. Like at this point, with what James Gunn is creating, you've already put the trunks on Superman. You need to go ahead and throw the trunks on this Batman also. So add that to your notes. Because you need to add the Batman that's like in the comics, with those trunks, because of course that's iconic, when it comes to this. Hell, even Michael Keaton's Batman had trunks. They were black on black, but you could still see them, and that was dope, honestly. And again, I want to see what this Batman's going to finally look like. Because honestly, like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, it looks cool with the silhouette and stuff like that. Of course, every time they put Batman like that, he's always gonna look awesome like that. But let's see. Let's see what let's see what happens from this because oh man, this is just interesting, honestly. And like I've been saying, the more the more and more we get into this whole DCU reboot, more updates are gonna keep coming up. There's just gonna be um, more updates, more things to talk about. Just to see and acknowledge, and I guess see what James Gunn is doing, because I mean, it is James Gunn, Yeah, his Batman's gonna be corny. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. This is going to be interesting. This is completely interesting. Yeah, that's true. DCU won't make it past this year. It won't. Let's be real. It's just not. This is why we're seeing now that James Gunn is desperate introducing his Batman. Let's just say his contract is going to be over next year in 2026. We're literally what we're at right now, 2 days into 2025. What there is 360 days in a year, so that's 358 days left. It's gonna happen. Things are gonna change. Things are going to change, and they're gonna get for the better. Honestly, that's why I'm not too concerned, because I know that the good is going to change and stuff like that. So you know, when it comes to what we are going to be getting, things are going to change. Uh, it's just gonna improve for us. It's just completely, it's just gonna change. Oh, and guys, Shane, Mad Max, don't worry, I already removed that comment, and I blocked that user. He's in here trying to troll and stuff like that. So, like I tell everybody, just come in here. You want to say your opinion, that's fine, but just be respectful. When I see people that are crossing the line, I just have to take action. I'm very patient, but you're my channel. This is a Snyderverse community, and if you don't like the content that's on here, honestly, you could just write out, as easy as that. But some of y'all like to push it, and you just made me take action. So I have to block and delete some. I don't like doing it, but I have to, because of course I have to filter, and try to keep our community as cool and neutral as possible. It's okay to have different opinions, but it's not okay to come in and disrespect other users. It's not okay to, insult or disrespect the platform, and especially not to insult me, because if you don't like it, honestly, like, just go somewhere else, honestly. So that I'll leave it at that and stuff like that. So like I said, appreciate for everybody that's watching, because here we are talking about this and stuff like that, and just showing you know what it is, what we like and what we enjoy. It's just completely, what as fans we do. This is what we do here and what we talk about. And some of you might be like, oh, you're talking about a lot about the DCU lately. You say you wasn't going to talk about it. You're a Snyder fan. Yeah, I am. And yeah, I am also. You know why? Because it's to expose and talk about what, the hypocrisy of the studio is. Because when you have this completely on your streaming service and your reboot, whatever you want to do with this universe with James Gunn, I'm putting you out there. I'm putting you out there because, again, it's okay for James Gunn to do this, right? To do all this. All this is good. This is acceptable, right? Look, how graphic is this? You know? That's okay. That's okay with James Gunn. But when Zack Snyder and David Ayer want to give us Darkseid, Steppenwolf, and these battles, especially what Wonder Woman did to Steppenwolf, that's a no-no, right? We can't do that, right? We can't do R-rated content, right? Live action. But then you could do R-rated content right here, right, with James Gunn, because it's James Gunn, right? And with the Suicide Squad, because it's James Gunn, right? That's where we draw the line, right? So with Zack Snyder, it's a no-no. Okay. But with James Gunn, that's a good to go, right? That's approved. Come on, man. How you gonna come here and say one is okay and the other one is not? See what I'm saying? That's why we do what we do. And this is why we keep on talking about it, because this is what fans do in the end. You can't have one or the other. It's either it applies to everybody or it doesn't apply to none. But we're seeing how the studio is. You see? This is what I'm saying. James Gunn starts off and he kicks off his new DCU reboot, introduces Batman, already impaled in a future nightmare timeline. But then now he wants to go ahead and introduce Batman because, of course, me speculating, and knowing and hearing the rumor that his contract is going to be up next year and Comcast is coming into play. This is all me speculating. Do you think a big company like Comcast is going to allow more flops? No, no, it's just not going to, and it's completely, like I don't even know. It's just things are going to change. Things are going to change, and you can see it. This is why you can see that the way that the studio is at right now, it's completely in mud. It's sinking, and the more it continues to try to move ahead, with whatever this reboot is, they just continue to sink even more. Instead of them moving forward and actually having customer satisfaction, all they're doing is just dividing the fans and the customers because people are tired of this. They've had enough. They completely have had enough. You know, yeah, DC has been taken over by the competition. It's sad. Yeah, that's true. It's completely true. It's like who would have thought? Like 100 years WB has in business, and they own the most respected, most recognized IP characters in the whole world. Just think about that. They own the three most iconic characters in the world. You know how big the world is? It's so big you can't even think about how big it is. Look at how long it might take you from wherever you are in the world to travel to wherever you want around the world. Some flights could be from 15 hours, 18 hours. You might have to catch two planes, three planes. I don't know, you know, but that just shows you, wow, that's a huge distance. Now imagine WB owns Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, the three biggest IPs in the world, and they have no idea what to do with them. This is how they introduce them in a Nightmare timeline for a reboot. I mean, Zack Snyder didn't do that. He at least ended it, setting things up with a Nightmare timeline, preparing you, as the viewer, as the fan, of what is to come, and we left off where, okay, the villain finally takes over. Now what? And it's like, what? Like, I want to see more of that. I really want to see more of that when it comes to this universe that he was giving us, you know. But this is finally the big reveal for James Gunn's Batman. Of course, with a silhouette, but at the same time, he's introducing us with a nightmare version, future events, I guess. With his homies right here. You see, I mean, they're all back there cooking. You see, let James Gunn cook. Here you go. He's cooking. James Gunn's cooking. You wanted James Gunn to cook? Look, he's cooking right here. Right? Crazy, huh? Pretty insane. But look, there you go. He's cooking again. Fully cooked. And here we have what this Batman is looking like in this universe. Pretty interesting. Like I said, this is something that we had to talk about because it's right now popping up everywhere on my feed. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it live and talk about it because that's what's needed right now. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I hope y'all enjoyed it, because this is what we do on this channel. We talk about it, and when something comes up, we have to always go back and look at it because with the way things are right now, um that's it. Wallets closed. Honestly, like that's the theme for this year. Like I've been telling y'all, we've been talking about that a few days. Wallets closed 2025, and we're finally here. Wallets closed. um it's pretty awesome. This is why I do this for y'all. I enjoy your lives. I appreciate you. I appreciate that, Shane. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. This is why we're here too. you know all right, later, Mad Max. Appreciate you for watching also, for everybody tuning in and all that good stuff. So, I know that there's gonna be more updates coming, and as soon as they do come up, we'll be talking about it. All right, later. Appreciate you for watching also. We're gonna keep on talking about it, and of course seeing what's happening and stuff like that. So make sure to turn those notification on. Hit the subscribe if you haven't seen. I mean, if you haven't subscribed, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. And until then, peace. Have a good day. And until next time.